Do you have a problem with these picks?
Well, first of all, the Cowboys are not winning the NFC East. So if you
yes,
ask me,
they are.
No.
I mean, that's the only given in this whole debate.
No, absolutely not.
Well, I mean, how hard is it to win the least?
That's y'all.
Oh, that's y'all?
That's what Washington and the Giants said.
Yeah.
How hard is it to win the East when we got the Cowboys and the Eagles in the division?
Look at that number 4. He's back.
Okay. We're going to talk about him a little later also. Skip, look, my Super Bowl prediction, and it's really early. I mean, the only team that's going to camp, if I'm not mistaken, are your Cowboys. And so there are a lot of things.
I think everybody's opening tomorrow.
In the next 3 days, everybody's going to be in camp. I'm going to say it's going to be a rematch. And I'm saying the Bucs and the Chiefs will run it back. But the Frank Clark situation has me concerned because they were a little shaky on defense last year, being able to consistently generate pressure. And really, there are only 2 guys that can generate pressure. That's he and Chris Jones. And if he's out, now they can double Chris Jones. They did sign Okafor back. He comes back for another season. So that has me a little concerned. I love what they did offensively. Trading their first-round pick for O. Brown, who's a Pro Bowl right tackle, slid to left, made the Pro Bowl at left tackle. Second-round draft pick on Creed Humphrey. They signed Joe Tooney in free agency. Laurent Duvernay-Tardy, he's back. So I don't believe he'll get the harassment that he got in last year's Super Bowl. The question is, will they be a little better defensively on that side? Tampa, they bring everybody back, and barring injury, I think the NFC is probably a little easier to navigate than the AFC, especially what's going on in Green Bay. Matthew Stafford is in the Rams, so we'll see how that goes. But I'm going to go right now. I'm going to go Chiefs Bucks. Now, as far as the NFC East.
Can I have a winner, please? Just an early gut feeling. I'm not going to hold you to it, but we got to know something as we get to
I just don't see on my homeboy. My homeboy ain't losing 2 in a row.
No?
No, I don't see that in the cards for my homeboy.
Boy, Brady beats him every time when it matters. Well, in the playoffs, he just beats him. He owns him.
We got y'all early in the year. Y'all got us when it really mattered.
That's right. And we got you good.
We got y'all the year before. We didn't get an opportunity to get the rematch.
AFC Championship game, overtime, 3 straight 3rd and 10 conversions by Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. at Kansas City in the cold.
You got an edge. You're 3-1. Now let's get to your NFC East, your Cowboys. Skip, the Giants are loaded. I love what they did in the draft. Kadarius Toney. They brought in Galladay, Slayton, Shepard, Kyle Rudolph, Evan Ingram, and they get arguably one of the better. He's not arguably. He's a top back when he's healthy. He's coming back off the ACL. They'll slowly integrate him back into the mix. If it doesn't happen this year, the Giants need to move on from Daniel Jones because they can't give him any more weapons than what they've already given. Now, Skip, I like Fitzpatrick. But they got expectations in Washington. And he never seems to come through when expectations are placed on him. Now, if he was just brought in there, it's like, and Washington didn't do anything, I was like, oh, man, Washington. But because their expectations, because they won the division last year, and they said, if we get better quarterback play, who knows where we can go in this division. So I'm going to say the Giants are first, Washington second, your team's third, Eagles pulling up the rear.
Okay, I'm going to address your NFC least predictions first. You said I'm going to quote you, the Giants are loaded, said the Hall of Famer Shannon Sharpe.
Yes.
They are loaded every place except at the place, which is quarterback. Do you really trust that he's going to be the first best quarterback in this division?
He won't need to be. He just don't need to be the worst.
Really? Okay, so you're betting on Daniel Jones, and then subsequently, you're betting on your second-place team on a quarterback that you have told me for all 5 years we've been on this show, you can't trust him because you ride the Fitzpatrick roller coaster, and it rolls way up here, and then it rolls way down here, and up here. And just when you want to trust him, just when you need him to be that guy, Fitzmagic, he's not. He's Fitztragic, right?
Yeah, I've just been dealing with that with the Cowboys for 27 years.
So this sounds like just straight Cowboy hate right out of the chute from you because you hate them so much you're picking Daniel Jones and Fitzmagic over the Dallas Cowboys in the division.
Skip, you do realize y'all been in this division for umpteen years. What have you done in the last 27 years? Y'all haven't won the division in the last 2 years? You make it seem like it's a given.
I will address them in a moment, but now it is my turn to make my big picture predictions.
Okay.
And again, these are all too early predictions, but it's here, it's back.
Okay.
And you know what? I'm I'm pumped up today because it's here. The Dallas Cowboys went to camp first. That's because they have the first exhibition game, right?
They'll be the first one eliminated from playoffs.
And that's why they have Hard Knocks already camped all around them, is because they are a team on the rise, a team on the verge. I haven't seen anybody not pick them to win the NFC East. And some people are picking them to be a, dare I say, dark horse Super Bowl contender.
That's you doing that.
No,
Ain't
I'm
nobody
not.
else. That's you.
I've heard several people. I'm not. They're on rival networks.
Well,
so
Tim Cowlishaw and Clarence Hills Jr.
No.
They don't count.
Mike Tannenbaum on ESPN. He's picking Dallas to win the NFC. Okay, so here's the point. Let's go big picture first before I address my Dallas Cowboys. I told you back on May the 13th when the schedules were released, I took one quick look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers schedule, knowing that they had shattered another mold. They brought every single player back. Much to your chagrin, it cost you a bunch of Diet Dew because it just kept going and going and going, and it went all the way home. Everybody. Antonio Brown is back. Every single Shaq Barrett, you said, he's got to get paid. He's got the bank out there. Well, they kept him on the tag, okay? All right. Everybody is back because they had so much fun winning together. And my quarterback on that team, who is about to be 44 years of age, shockingly played all last season on a torn, ruptured MCL. Medial collateral ligament. It was ruptured. According to all reports, he had to get it repaired. And by all accounts, he is right on course to be ready to go for this upcoming season. Yeah, and you're not believing it. You're not trusting it.
I ain't say that. I ain't say nothing.
Okay, so he was the Super Bowl MVP. He was the second rated by Pro Football Focus quarterback during the regular season last year to Aaron Rodgers, who was the runaway MVP, but Tom was ranked second, graded second by Pro Football Focus on a torn MCL. That's impossibly great for the GOAT. The GOAT got even goatier last year, right? So I look at this schedule and I say, time out. They're going to be favored, according to Fox Bet, in every single game. Now, the odds are obviously very long for them to win every single game. But I told you on May 13th, I will not be shocked if they do pull it off, because what's left for Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. to do? Well, he came very close to an undefeated season, as you know, off the 2007 season. Correct. When he had his greatest statistical season because he had Randy Moss. And then what happened? The Giants happened. And then what happened? Bill Belichick happened, because Tom did what Tom always does. He had a game-winning drive with 2 minutes left. He hit Randy Moss for the 14-10 go-ahead touchdown, and Belichick's defense spit it up after that and allowed Eli Manning to go 75 yards in 13 plays for the game-winning score.
The same Belichick defense that had just held the Giants to 10 points for the entirety of the game, and all y'all could do was have 7?
The money got pushed to the middle of the table, and Tom said, I'll do my part, Coach, if you'll do yours. Coach couldn't. Coach got out-coached. Oh, my goodness. And my point is, you don't think that sticks in Brady's cross. So what would be a crowning achievement? Not that this is going to be his last year, because I think he might play 4 or 5 more years. My goodness, but my point is this possibly an undefeated season?
No.
Is it possible that Tampa Bay would have 2 home games to get to the Super Bowl? Sure, it's very possible. I think even you would agree with that.
Skip, we put man on the moon. Now private citizens are going up in space. Anything's possible, but likely. What is the likelihood? What percentage do you believe they go undefeated?
What do I tell you again and again
I'm betting against it.
One man in sports I do not bet against, Tom Brady. And Tom Brady has the best team. He's got the best talent. I give you that. It's by far the best team he's ever played with. And he got thrown into the fire last year in the middle of a pandemic in which they couldn't even practice except in the public park. And they had 0 preseason games. And he had a whole new system and a whole new coaching staff and a coach who said, no risk it, no biscuit. We got bombs away. And Tom didn't play bombs away ever in his whole career in New England. And he played it last year because he led the NFL in air distance. You know, just the sheer distance he threw passes last year. And you don't think he's going to be a little better this time around? He said during Super Bowl week, we will definitely be better next year, just on continuity, repetition, together, just one more year together. So are you sure they can't win every game? So I got 4 dicey games. They're fairly early. It's game 3. They're at Rams. It's pretty tough. And then we got the showstopper. We got October 3rd at New England.
And now Coach Belichick going to show you why he the guru.
Oh, really?
Coach Belichick going to show you why he the guru.
Okay. Can we please have 5 cases on that right now? We might already. I don't remember, but we got at least 5.
At least.
And that may go up.
At least.
And I love it because I'm telling you the Bucs will be favored to win that game.
Yes.
Okay, I got it. Then other dicey games. At Washington, they just have a very good defense. And again, for a little while, Tom struggled against them in the playoff game. And then, speaking of bombs away, here it went.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, okay.
One other dicey game is at Indy. I think Indy has a really good football team with a really questionable quarterback. I just don't buy him. I've never believed in Carson Wentz. And again, if anybody can save him, Frank Reich can save him. And maybe that'll be a tricky game for them to win. But is Tampa better than Indy? Yes, they're better than Indy. Is Tom Brady better than Carson Wentz? You better believe he's better, okay? So other than that, do you see anybody beating him in the division? Do you see him seriously?
Division games are always tough.
I got it.
They're really you talk about those 4 that you mentioned are the dicey.
Yeah.
Skip, you know how it is in division games. You're very familiar with each other. Who knows?
Okay, but even you have come completely around. You are not betting against the Buccaneers to be in the Super Bowl.
No.
All right, so we got that one. Now to Cleveland. Back on May the 13th, day after schedules came out, I predicted Tampa over the Cleveland Browns in the Super Bowl, and I'm sticking with it. And yet, you mentioned you got, an issue here like a Frank Clark issue.
Yeah.
Well, my Frank Clark issue with Cleveland is Odell Beckham Jr.
Odell healthy.
Okay, well, he's, according to reports, he's better than ever. Okay, is that a plus or a minus? I'm going to barely give it a plus, but I don't love it, and I'm not sure I trust it because what happened last year after remember, Odell was lost against Cincinnati?
Right.
What happened after that? Baker Mayfield took off with no Odell. Down the stretch, last 11 games, he goes 8-3 with 20 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. And he was graded by Pro Football Focus the 4th best quarterback over that stretch. Well, that's pretty good for a guy who a lot of people were writing off as a bust.
Yeah, guess who else took off? Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt.
Okay, well, I don't disagree. I'm with you. The whole team took off, but he was no longer Odell-centric. And he starts throwing it to Rashard Higgins and Peoples-Jones. And he can distribute to Austin Hooper and Njoku. And you get everybody involved, including the Thunder and Lightning running game.
You see, Skip, what you're doing is that, remember, you also said that Milwaukee is a little better without Giannis. They're not better without Odell.
Well, they have been better without Giannis, and I'll back that up any day of the week. And I'd like to who won the game. I just said they could win game 1. They could go steal game 1 without Giannis because I'd seen them play 2 games against the Hawks, and they look more like a basketball team without Giannis. What had happened to Giannis the year before against Miami and the year before that against Toronto? Yeah. He caved in, he crumbled, and he met a Phoenix that didn't defend him. They didn't build a wall. They said, we got a 22-year-old. We'll put the 22-year-old. Okay, well, I'm just saying, don't tell me that proved anything. It proved 0.
It proves to me that if you give Odell opportunities, you have to give him opportunities.
Yep.
He's still that, I believe, when healthy, he's a top 5 receiver.
Okay.
Now, he hasn't been able to be healthy in a very long time. You know, he had the ankle injury at the Giants, and he said he dealt with the hernia issue. Then he had the ACL.
All right.
We'll see if he's healthy. Let's see how good Baker Mayfield can be.
Okay. Baker Mayfield, over those last 11 games, was #1 in the NFL in what's called adjusted completion percentage on deep passing. So he did not have his deep threat Odell, and he's bombs away. Yeah. And he was #1 in the league in that department.
Because you play in single high safety.
Okay.
You got to stop that running game. You got to stop Chubb and Hunt.
Okay. So his offensive line is now ranked by Pro Football Focus #1 in pass blocking.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Whew. Okay.
Loaded.
You got that going for you.
They're a loaded team.
And I just mentioned the tight end core. I mean, that Harrison Bryant was starting to come on. Yeah. He looks like a player to me, right?
Yeah.
And so you got 3 good tight ends, and you got, I didn't even mention Jarvis, but you got Odell, I guess, and Jarvis, and then the 2 I mentioned, and Rashard. And this is a powerhouse because on defense, should I count the ways? Myles Garrett is obviously still there. Added Jadeveon Clowney, Tack McKinley, Malik Jackson, and then they signed Troy Hill as their slot corner, who was maybe the best. I think he was the best slot corner on the market. And John Johnson III to play safety alongside Grant Delpit, who was out with his Achilles last year. Not sure if he'll be 100%, but Denzel Ward. What's not to like about that? In fact, what's not to love about the defense?
Well, look,
right?
this is what we know. Kansas City's won the Division 5 straight times. They've gone to the AFC Championship game 3 straight times. I'm not now given a choice head to head. You want Baker Mayfield or you going Patrick Mahomes?
Okay, I'll give you that. Except football team to football team, I think this is a little bit better football team than Kansas City. And they do play, don't they play? Oh, it's the, what am I saying? It's the opening game.
Yeah, but they might be. But like you told me earlier, it's the quarterback. The same reason you're picking the Cowboys in the NFC East because of the quarterbacks. This is why I'm not going to take Baker Mayfield over Patrick Mahomes.
Okay, has Baker Mayfield shown you more than Daniel Jones has?
Yes.
Thank you.
But hold on. The gap between Baker Mayfield and Patrick Mahomes is not as big as the gap between Dak Prescott and Daniel Jones or Fitzpatrick. So don't pretend over there. Don't you stand over there and talk about like Baker Mayfield like that. Patrick Mahomes is that guy.
Baker Mayfield is the first pick in the draft. Now I think he's starting to stand right up to it.
He could have been. Are you trying to say he's the equivalent of Patrick Mahomes?
No,
Are you close to Patrick Mahomes?
No, I think he's close enough they can beat Patrick Mahomes when it matters.
I don't think so.
Which will be
he had an opportunity. Patrick Mahomes went out. He couldn't even beat Chad Henne.
Mm-hmm. Well, he didn't have this team. He didn't have all these free agents that they added.
He had. I don't care. He didn't have Patrick Mahomes to compete against. And when he had an opportunity, what did he do, Skip?
Do you realize he's had 4 head coaches and 4 different offensive coordinators in 3 seasons?
He's a part of the reason why they had 4 head coaches and 3 offensive coordinators.
I don't think he was.
I think he was.
Okay, so I'm going to stick with the Browns to win it all, and they're going to have to overcome the Chiefs.
Hold on, win it all? Oh, you mean
no, I
win the AFC?
To win the AFC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm just talking about the AFC.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll go Bucs over Browns. But I'm also going to go Dallas Cowboys easily win
there you go.
the least because everybody's picking them because it's obvious you should pick them.
Skip, that's low-hanging fruit. Oh, Cowboys, this is going to be their year. They're so talented. And Jerry Jones is talking again, and I know why he's talking, Skip. It dawned on me last night laying in the bed. Hard Knocks. That's why he's doing it. Guess what they're going to open up with? Him reminiscing. Him suffering a nostalgic breakdown. What could have been?
I don't disagree with you. He may have rehearsed all that. he may have had a script written for him.
Yes.
He just might have because he knew he was on the biggest stage he's ever been on before. He was actually crying crocodile tears, right? Like he's putting it on. He won the NFL's Academy Award.
Yes.
Okay, I got that. I still say Hard Knocks will be a launching pad for this team because it's loaded with personalities.
Launch them to 3rd place?
No,
they didn't need hard Knocks for that.
So 2 things are going to happen right before your very eyes. I believe that Ty Smith, Zach Martin, and Lyle Collins will stay reasonably healthy all season, very long for you.
When last time that happened?
Okay, well, it's going to happen this time. I just believe it that they're raving about all their rehabs through the offseason. I trust because they're not too old in years and chronologically they're not too old.
But what about football year?
Well, we'll see about
why
that.
am I the only one that feels worse as I get older? Why guys that's playing in the NFL as they get older, they feel better, they get better? That's not normally how it happens.
We'll see. I just have a good feeling about that. I have a better feeling. We're going to talk about him just as a standalone topic in a little bit. I have an even better feeling about Ezekiel Elliott. I think this is going to be a bounce-back year. I love what he has done. I love it that he went to an independent running backs coach to work on his quickness. And I love it that he hired a personal chef to lean him out.
He had one. McDonald's. KFC knows his personal chefs.
Okay. You saw that picture of him the other day.
He looked good. I will concede that. He looks better now than he did when he came out.
Okay. Micah Parsons was far and away your top pick in the draft.
No question about it.
You loved him. Okay.
I do.
My team landed him, maybe by accident, maybe it was
but
like
you
by
didn't want
default.
him. You wanted past her
well, and I still do. But I'll take Micah Parsons because he's got a little bit of, dare I say, Lawrence Taylor, Charles Haley sort of potential. I'm just saying he's that kind of player with that kind of electricity. We'll see. Well, you loved him.
I love him.
Okay.
I mean, LT and Haley might be a little stretch, but okay.
So, and DeMarcus is still there, and I think Randy Gregory's going to have a breakout.
DeMarcus where?
No, not DeMarcus
Oh,
Ware.
okay. I thought you were talking about DeMarcus Ware.
No, unfortunately, it's Lawrence as in Taylor. DeMarcus Lawrence Taylor.
D-Law.
Yeah,
Okay.
we got him. Randy Greger's going to have a breakout season. And watch Kelvin Joseph. I just think he's got some stuff to him. He's got...
Boss man fast?
Yeah, boss man fat, yeah. He's going to start at corner opposite a guy that you came around on, Trevon Diggs. You think he's got
I
Pro Bowl
like them at Alabama.
Okay.
Yeah, he has the ability to be special.
Okay.
I think he can be special.
So they added Keanu Neal and Kazee from Atlanta, and I think they'll contribute. I just think, okay, I just showed you how that defense cannot be anything but better than it was last year.
Yes,
Am I right?
They were like 30th, so if they 29, 28. But Skip, you mentioned Keanu Neal and Kazee. They were on the worst. They were on a defense that was worse than the Cowboys, who was one of the worst in their history.
I give you that. In fact, the Atlanta pass defense was the worst in the history of the National Football League.
And you got two guys off of it.
Okay.
And you were bad last year, too.
But I believe Keanu Neal will segue up a little bit up into the linebacker slot that has been vacated. So he will make us better because he's a thumper. That's what he does. He'll be the new Sean Lee.
So he's gonna be the box. So he gonna be the box safety.
Yep. Well, no, he'll be the strong side linebacker.
So y'all got three linebackers. So where's Parsons going? Where's the Wolf Hunter and Jalen Smith?
Hand in dirt.
He can't. Oh, hold on, Skip. He can't play with his hand in the dirt every down.
Micah Parsons?
Yes.
Why not?
Maybe on pass. Skip, no. Huh?
Just watch. He's going to be a disruptor as a pass rusher.
No,
that will be his strong suit.
He might be a weak side. He's more suited for a weak side linebacker.
Well, you can stand him up and rush the passer, or you can put his hand down and rush the passer.
Hopefully he's a Derrick Brooks. Let him be. You want him to be a
Derrick Brooks? Well, I take that. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. But I don't see him as an every down hand. Not Von Miller. He's not a Von Miller type.
Okay. And it brings me back to my man, Dak Prescott. I'm hoping he's going to be 1,000% healthy.
What you mean you hoping?
Well,
you just waxed poetically.
Yeah, I did. Well, he had a career-threatening injury, so I'm just saying, I hope he's 1,000%. They say he is.
I thought I was listening to the Donda album last night, the way you waxing poetically over there. Yeah, that's what I thought I were. And now you talking about if Dak. No, ain't no if.
Of all the things I've said, the one I believe the most in is that Dallas will win the NFC East, and that's a done deal. You're in trouble. You're defunct. You've already lost right out of the box.
Last 2 years, you've done this.
We can be excited about Dak here. Oh, and quickly on Zeke, did you see Jane Slater reported he's down to 218? The last time he weighed that was freshman year in college.
I told you.
Yes, he's got his health in a good place.
We're going to have the Ohio State Zeke.
You might be onto something. That's 218. That's impressive. Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.